Hi, I'm Chris from Development. We're going to take a quick look at the Coronium ChatterBox demo project, and we can find that here on GitHub as the Coronium ChatterBox demo repo, and I'll put the link in the notes below. And I just went ahead and downloaded by clicking this button and then download zip, and then I expanded that zip file and I opened the project up, and that's what's running here in Visual Code. And this is just a really super simple composer project. So in the scenes here and the chat is where most of our functionality for ChatterBox is actually taking place. I'm using CB as the variable to hold the ChatterBox instance, and then that's pulled in through the plugin. There are a couple items we can set here at the top. One is the IP of our ChatterBox, which I already have running. And if you'd like to see the video on how to set up your ChatterBox server, you'll find a link below. I've also set a debug mode to true, and this will output some additional data into the Corona console as we're using the ChatterBox. So there is a number of different things in here. Here's just some private methods for different aspects of it. These are the events for the different pieces of functionality in ChatterBox. It just covers a few of them, not all of them, so you'll need to look at the documentation to see the full list of what's available. I'm adding event listeners, and then we have just UI creation here in Composer, and then down here at the bottom we actually do our connection to Coronium ChatterBox. And here we have the host, and we captured that earlier. The debug mode we captured earlier, and the name, which is the name of your user that you want to connect to the ChatterBox, is being captured in the login scene here and being passed as a variable using Composer. So that's what's happening there. So with that, let's go ahead and launch this thing. It's not very pretty, but let's just do a refresh here. And we'll enter a name. Just pick Mark and log in. And then now we're logged into our ChatterBox instance. The default room is lobby. There's one client here. He can say hello to himself if he wants. Let me bump this up a bit here. These buttons here on the bottom. You just got to insert something into the field first. Click the button, and then he just said hello. If I wanted to change Mark's name, I can just put a new name in here and click the change name button. And now Mark is now Dave, and all the elements get updated. We can also see on the console this output data. This is kind of giving us a little line by line of what's going on and the different messaging we're getting back, so we can utilize that in our code. The name change here just took place. One of the properties of that is the name and the old name, so you can do stuff like Mark is now Dave. And I also have this exported out on a tablet, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in on another tablet over here, and that way we can just kind of see it together. So again, the default room is lobby, so this second client has now joined. Sam, he's in here, and now Sam can send a message if he wants to from the tablet. So Sam says hi, and at this point now, if we wanted to change a room, let's say that we wanted to go off to game 1, we can change the room, and then we're gone. Lobby's still taking place. Dave is now the sole member of this room, and then if we wanted to chase that user, I'm going to go ahead and punch in the same room on the tablet. We're going to change it into that room, and now we have joined in. So that's how you change different rooms, bounce around, and once you're all done, then you can just hit disconnect. Again, all of this is laid out in much more detail in the documentation, all the different events, but this gives you a very simple idea of how you can implement it into a Composer-based project. So and one other thing to note is the ChatterBox Standalone, which allows you to basically develop and test your application with a local standalone instance of ChatterBox. And I'll link this below as well. This is on the GitHub. You just download this using this download button, get the zip, expand the archive, and we can look at what that looks like once you have that. So I'm on OS X, so I'm just going to open this up in my terminal here, and you can do this with command prompt in Windows 10. And in this directory there is a ChatterBox executable and then a configuration Lua. So I'm going to go ahead and start up this ChatterBox instance with this configuration, and now we're listening on port 7175. And then you'll need to know the local port of your machine and replace it here in the chat.lu at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine in, which is these digits, and I'm going to save that up, and then I can re-log in here on my ChatterBox project, and then I'm joined in, so then I can do some testing locally and some building locally. You also see on the terminal here, you'll see some output from the server as the log just kind of showing what's going on in the server as the messaging takes place. So that can be helpful as you're working on your application. So that's how you run Coronium ChatterBox Standalone. And again, you can find a lot of more information in the actual documentation. Thanks for watching.